midday, everyone, and welcome to the
Animation Lunchbox!
And today we're here with
Mark,
Evan,
Nico,
Tyler,
and Danielle. Alright, today's topic is first year animation, first and second semester. Ooh.
very sensual.
So, let's see.
First semester.
Yeah, first semester. Who wants to start?
Favorite class.
Favorite
Oh
class?
yeah, favorite class is a good
Huh.
one.
That's tough.
I think I love all the classes.
Animation.
Oh, it's-
life
yeah.
drawing.
Claire's fun.
Character layout.
Claire.
Jeez,
Yeah.
that's a really hard question.
Character not drawing, that's the best. I'm
I
sorry,
like-
character and animation.
Animation.
Character and layout. And
I do love layout, actually.
You know what?
Yeah.
Hamza is the best.
Layout's growing on me. I thought I was
Yeah,
gonna hate
yeah.
it, and then
I thought it would hit it too, but
Yeah.
Hamza is so great.
Well, he's
Yeah.
like, he switched how he taught it,
Yeah.
which I think helps a lot.
When
Yeah.
so comes out, you're converting us all to being layout.
And I don't know if we talked about that on the last episode, but Combs is our layout teacher. That
Yeah.
wasn't already
Mark
apparent.
Kamza.
Mark
Kamza,
Kamza.
the one and only.
Man,
How
Big
about
big
animation?
Polish man. He might scare you. He's walking around the halls.
man, animation class is a lot different than I thought it would be.
Really?
I
Yeah. What
thought-
was your expectation?
Before coming in? Like, I knew what animation was about, like drawing this pretty much the same thing over and over in succession, right? But I was worried that it was gonna be like crazy difficult, and I just wouldn't get it, and it would like eat up all my time, and it would be total like crap by the time it turned out. But it's actually a lot more fun.
It's kind of like
Yeah,
that.
and
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's easy because it's not, but I'm understanding it quicker than I thought it would be. So
Yeah, I thought I wouldn't like it. I thought it'd be boring and tedious, but I don't know. I love it. The problem solving aspects of it and just figuring out and seeing something move that you drew.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, it's like solving a puzzle. Almost.
Yeah, I like that about it.
I got really excited when my ball bounced for the first time.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like so happy. I was like,
Was that-
oh my god, I made the ball bounce.
That was like the first time you actually saw your animation move.
Well, like I've animated stuff prior, but like I don't know, there's something about like how good the ball bounce looked like, and it just was like, oh my god, like that's amazing. But everything after that got more difficult.
So don't
I
touch
wouldn't
it.
say I'm fully grasping all the concepts of animation yet, but I'm working on it.
24 frames of circles moving.
Damn,
It's
Yeah.
so
Fun.
impressive.
so much fun. Like
You'd be hard pressed to find
Tears.
people who are more engaged on bouncing balls than we
than
are.
we are.
Yeah.
Trust. If you guys
Children.
if you come to the animation dark side of Sheridan College, you better cry. It's like mandatory. You have to cry when you see your first ball bounce. You have to shed a tear.
animation.
I never did.
We were on the pulse of the ball bounce animation like scene.
Yeah.
What do you think the hardest
Painting?
class is?
Yeah,
Mine's
painting.
definitely painting.
Painting.
Yeah.
Because like painting was okay and VC and funny, so I thought like it'd be fine. And then Florian is he's a great teacher, but he's a little bit of a hard marker, and the classwork is more difficult than I thought it would be. I thought it would just be simple, like okay, here's your painting, you just do it.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
it's a lower build up. You gotta have a lot of thumbnails and development work and like studies.
He has a very keen eye. Like he can, like you look at your painting, like that looks. I did a really good job, and he looks and he's just like, nope, 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 and like all this stuff. Like he just has. He has a very highly trained eye.
You do see it though. Like you won't
After
see it, and
he
then when he
says it.
points it out, you're like,
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
explains
it
it
makes
really
sense.
well.
He
Yeah.
does though, yeah. I mean, it's good and bad. It hurts a little bit, but at the same time, like once he starts to point stuff out, you pick up on it more, and
Yeah.
like it's tough love. But
Constructive criticism.
yeah, I definitely have become a better painter in like
oh yeah.
since I started animation.
Yeah.
And I mean, gouache doesn't help too much. Like gouache is a tough medium.
It's
but
hard, I guess, when you start, but once because we do so much, all our paintings are in gouache, so I think we just come to the point where it's not too bad to work with anymore.
yeah.
Fun fact for those listening who don't know, the reason why they use gouache is because it's matte. So originally they would have a camera and they didn't want it to like be shiny or like be reflective. So like it's flat, it's a flat paint, and it's just so like it's the most appealing for cameras if you want to shoot.
I didn't know that.
Makes sense?
I don't know that either. Yeah.
That's why they
Even want to go painting
that's-
forever.
Well, original. I'm pretty sure some of the original animations were on watercolor, which can also be matte.
Right. Yeah.
But like
it
you
has
can't
the
use
same.
acrylic or like oil. That would have too much shine.
Yeah, when it comes
I
out.
think also
yeah.
the problem is when you lay the cells on each other, if they're like acrylic, they'll stick together.
That too.
And
Yep.
And then you're screwed.
That'd be brutal.
That would suck, like having hours of amazing layouts painted and you like, pull them together. It's like,
Uh,
ruined.
Hand painted cells.
Oh.
Ew.
That's funny though. As far as like classes that I didn't expect to be so hard, I actually really struggle with character design. Like
Yeah.
I know there's a few people in this room right here. I think actually everyone in this room, you guys are really strong on character design. This is not my area of expertise.
But you're really good at painting.
But
but I've been.
you pull some good character design
Yeah,
stuff
you
though.
do.
It might take a bit
out of,
more
like,
work, but
some
it does
significant-
happen.
Yeah, I have to work on it for a good amount of time.
I just love character design. Every time we're in class and ends up bringing a project, I have a million ideas in my head and
Yeah.
a big smile on my face.
See, all my initial drawings for characters are just like, I could just given it to like some random person on the street, and they just like, what does a lion look like? Oh, it's something like this. But
Well, that was like a good point you brought up when you were doing. I think you brought it up about how when you really look at like animated animals, they don't actually like exactly resemble like what the animals are
Yeah.
in real life.
Oh no, Enzo was talking about that.
Yeah,
like
Enzo was
the
saying-
coyote.
Enzo say that? Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Coyote.
Like Wile E.
He's talking
Coyote.
to you about it. Though,
because
isn't he?
I'm doing in this second semester project doing the head rotations, I'm doing King Louie from the Jungle Book. So like, cause he like if you actually like compare like take him and take a orangutan, and like they're totally different.
Yeah.
Cause he has this huge like football mouth that comes out. That's like a total pain to rotate. I had to actually sculpt like a little head.
Oh,
and-
really?
Yeah, that's how I got the rotation right.
Oh,
I
okay.
I have it right here. The sculpture of this like.
Delicious.
But because we were talking about that because he looks nothing like an orangutan. He moves like an orangutan, kind of. But they were a lot more creative. Like they basically they did a lot of drawings, and they did it more in the past than they do it now. He felt as well, was that like, they
built?
take a lot more. No, I mean just like in general, some of the like characters that they designed in the past.
Oh, okay.
Like the ones nowadays look a little closer to the actual like that doesn't look like a lion, so now we have to change it to make it look like a lion.
Right.
When really you don't need to be restricted by that.
Well,
You can just kind
It's
of.
like a character. It's kind of like caricature. You gotta like to use the real animal as a base, and you push certain aspects of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, like even saying that because the lion from Robin Hood doesn't even have a mane.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's right,
female.
yeah.
That's
He's
like a
like-
female. He's
yeah.
like a female male lion.
Yeah.
I think they did that to kind of make him feel more weak and
And
like
masculine.
And
strong.
like,
Yeah,
and his
not like
bro- and
not
his-
as regal as his
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
brother got like this huge voluptuous mane.
Which is funny though, but like how the animal's not looking exactly because like Zootopia is surprised. I guess maybe because it's 3D modeling, like they're pretty accurate in how they look.
They
aside
seem,
from,
yeah.
aside from
Well,
the fact that they stand on 2 legs,
That's
obviously.
that's what Enzo was saying yesterday too. Is that like they've kind of strayed away from that where it doesn't
that's right, it's
necessarily.
kinda- it's kinda reverted
and he
back.
said like, he didn't say it's bad, but he's like he doesn't like how it's being lost. He's like obviously it can be good either way, but he likes how
Right.
Yeah.
sometimes it doesn't need. You know, it's that animal.
Yeah, you don't
even though
need to
doesn't
make it look so much
exactly
like that.
right.
Because
Yeah.
I feel like your brain, like you know, when you fill in the blanks, when you like see things, and like when you skim through stuff and you read, and your brain kind of like fills in the gaps where, like just from common sense and what you've learned. And I think like with
And Gestalt.
Oh.
Gestalt,
Yeah.
You never heard of that? What?
Like
I've
if-
heard
if
that.
you had
I
like
haven't-
You took our fundies. How
If
did
you had like
not
a
hear
full
about it?
circle and you were to like cut out lines in it, you would still like see it as a circle.
Well, yeah,
Oh.
there you go. So that whole concept
Things
of
like that.
when you look at King Louie, you see monkeys.
An orangutan.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
orangutan,
Mhm.
whatever.
I think it's also the fur color helps too. They have bright orange.
Right.
fur.
Yeah. The red is definitely indicative.
Like a
of
And the
distinctive
body type.
qualities.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
that's
they
true,
kept
yeah.
the distinctive qualities of
Yeah.
an orangutan,
Right.
but they pushed like smaller things like
I think-
his
Yeah.
monkey.
When they push the character, it's usually in the face. Like when they want to like
It's
mess
the
with it
most
a bit.
emotive part of like the character.
Yeah.
Like that's what you look at like right away. Like I mean, you see like the shape and the silhouette, but like at least right after that you see the face.
Mm-hmm.
What about like story class? Like
Story
the
class in the
lecture.
first semester.
Well, I thought we had to do more.
Oh, lecture. Yeah, I love
wait,
lecture.
story lecture?
Yeah.
Oh, with
Oh,
Barney?
story lecture. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that was awesome.
great.
That's my favorite class.
like
I
that
never.
class.
Yeah, I
I,
love
like, I think Barney brings like a nice energy to it with all these
Yeah.
weird videos he shows us.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it keeps
Yeah.
it keeps it entertaining for the stuff he's teaching
For
us.
sure, especially like right first thing in the morning. It's
Yeah.
good to have an entertaining prof that can
Wake you up.
wake you up and
Helps to start
keep
the
you
class.
stimulated as he
Yeah.
tries to teach you stuff. But it was really interesting, like all these things that you're like when you go to write a story or come up with an idea, you're just like whatever, right? And then but he's like, no, really pay attention to those because that's those little details is what's gonna like push you forward and like
Drive.
yeah, and like make you stand out
Well, it's gonna make your story more appealing and interesting instead of
Yeah.
making it some generic like cookie cutter thing that's like it might be okay or good, but it's not like great.
And you also need like a strong story, because
Yeah.
there's so many like there's so much content being created like every day that I don't know,
That's
like
true.
it's so easy to like just fall into like that mainstream of like unoriginal stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's really like,
cliches and everything.
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that.
cliches and things.
and that's what we're here for. I mean, at least what I'm here for. Like, story is like,
A big
Story's
thing
king.
that Sheridan.
Story is king.
really
this,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ding-a-ding-ding.
He does a good job too of like taking stuff you've like heard a million times, like this is what a protagonist is and like an antagonist, but he really drives it home that like everything is important and is there, but it can be similar in every movie. Like he'll take like 3 movies and
They have
point out the
same
same things, but
story.
they're completely different movies with different endings and
Right,
stories.
right.
and
Yeah, like a
everything.
hero's journey. How like it's pretty
Yeah.
much very like structured and like it's pretty much consistent across a lot of movies, but like how they incorporated it, how things happened are different.
Yeah.
That's where those fine details come into play.
I don't know if we talked about it in his class or if I read about it, but like the one thing that like makes Miyazaki stand out from like Disney is like the antagonist isn't really a person as much as it is like an inner demon or like an inner like
Oh,
thing
yeah,
that they
yeah.
have to conquer,
He's
Right.
really good at bringing
which is like unique.
Yeah.
The
Huh.
original.
Well, he makes all of his characters like people. There's never
That's
like
true.
this is like the representation of evil in a
Mhm.
person. This is like another person character that lives in this world, and then really the conflict in the movie is always usually like an inner turmoil, like
Yeah.
an
Right.
which is
emotional-
hard to depict, especially through
Yeah.
animation.
But I think it's more realistic. Like that's
Oh, definitely.
closer to what I mean. Like other stories are really great that show that a little bit more, like the hero's journey or like the fight against good and evil, that kind of thing, or like, you know, where you really have that represented as a character. But when you have that kind of emotional inner turmoil, it's hard, but it's like, it really. That's why there's so much humanity in his work.
Yeah, it's really relatable. You can really look at almost like yourself and the characters he makes and see the problems they go
Well, you
through and
can-
relate to that.
I
Like
can
you can, I
see some of
guess,
these
relate
movies.
to Disney movies too, but
I find with
yeah,
movies-
Tyler hasn't seen them. He's terrible.
Yeah.
But
Ah.
A little bit.
yeah, you can relate to them. Like Disney movies, you can relate to them, but like I don't know, it's harder to relate to, I guess, say Anna or Elsa. You can in a way, but like his characters, Miyazaki's characters are more human, and you can really
I think Miyazaki,
connect to them more on a deep level than you do maybe some Disney's characters.
you can connect with every character because they're like full people.
Right. There's never a person
And
that's
in-
totally.
Yeah, but in like Disney and a lot of like regular cartoons, one person is one thing. And then
Yeah.
you tend to connect to whoever, like maybe you're more like, if you're a more outgoing person, you'll connect with the one character that's like super outgoing because you tend to be more outgoing. Or, but in like Miyazaki, I find he has like these characters that show, like they're more than just like one, they're more than like face value. There's like more to them, and that like allows you to connect with them in more ways than just like, oh, I'm outgoing, so I'm gonna connect with that really outgoing character. Like there's more.
Yeah, there's more human. Like
Yeah.
they're all like they have of those aspects in themselves,
Yeah.
and then they're more representational, like a real person.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Though interesting, like Disney's gotten a bit better at that, like
Yeah.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah, they
and,
have.
Like,
Yeah.
That's true,
it's-
yeah.
from the trailers to Zootopia, it seemed to do more of that, like a lot of emotion and characters you can connect with on a deeper level
Yeah.
than more like a superficial aspect.
I think Finding Nemo did a really good job of that.
Yeah.
I can't really
yeah.
think of a bad guy.
Right.
Really.
That's true. Yeah,
Like maybe
Right.
like humans, but they weren't really.
they didn't.
They
As long as
weren't
they
on
know
purposely
this,
like
yeah,
trying to like
They
kill
were-
all these fish.
They were like a catalyst, and then like the real like struggle in that movie was like the journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I can also see how Tyler was relating that inner turmoil. That it was like it was Marlon having like a struggling with his like not wanting to lose his son, like he
Right.
lost his wife in the beginning.
And his
Spoiler
thousands of children.
alert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
If anybody hasn't seen the first like 15 seconds of Finding Nemo, I'm sorry.
Wow, Nico, you horrible human being.
Realistically, if you haven't seen it by now, I probably should.
Kamza, our Leo teacher, was talking to us about like a bunch of French animated films recently, and one name that came like that he said was Sylvain Chomet. I'm probably butchering it, but
I
it's
think it's
like
Chomet.
Chomet.
Chomet, maybe.
Chomet.
'Cause I think it's the T silent.
Yeah.
The
So
silent,
he's the one who directed Triplets of Belleville and The Illusionist, and his first film was The Old Lady and the Pigeons, and I watched it last night. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Is it?
It's so well, like you can tell.
I've
like,
seen like excerpts.
Those are the only films I
Yeah.
really haven't seen. Any of the French ones. I should though, because like
I love-
it's beautiful
yeah, I know.
animation.
Oh my god, The Illusionist! I watched it last year. There's no dialogue. It's
Yeah.
like completely
Really?
just like
Not really. Yeah, there's a little bit, but it's
barely. It's like
yeah.
There's
it's
like,
a visual story. It's amazing.
It's so well done.
Is that like a
It's-
full length movie?
Yeah, it's
Wow.
you can
Yeah.
find it on YouTube also.
I need to watch a
Um,
lot
it's
more
like an-
movies than I have seen.
Yeah.
Honestly, like each character, even if it's like a background character, has like a unique walk cycle. Like, and they're like
Nice.
so different. Like they're all so different. Like it's
Yeah.
amazing. But yeah, like you can tell like it's a little like it's his first film compared to if you watch The Illusionist, but it's still like really good. I think it's around 30 minutes. Like the pigeon and the old lady and the pigeon. So you guys should watch that too.
French man, animation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gobelin.
But what do you think was your biggest struggle in first semester before Christmas
The
break?
struggle like
Bum
projects.
portfolio.
Time
Yeah.
management. Time
Yeah,
management.
time management is a big thing. Putting
Yeah.
things
I'm-
off to the last minute.
That's. I
It's-
feel like that's just a current struggle.
Well, like
Yeah.
Time management.
Life struggle.
Balance,
Yeah.
I think balance is the hard part because like, I tend to like put a lot of effort into animation and character design and kind of not put as much effort in the other stuff. Like I'll take time away from those other projects to put into those I want to, but in a way I guess is like you put the time to things you want to do, like to get the work done and do it at a good level, but like the projects you put like 150% into are the ones
Right.
you really love and you don't have to do that for every project.
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
kind of important too, because
Picking
if
your
that's,
battles.
I mean, this is kind of like sculpting who we're gonna be in the
Yeah.
industry.
In
So
the
like,
pipeline, yeah.
yeah, I mean, if you're really interested in character, like, and you put a ton of time into it, then you'll really discover if that's like,
What you want to do.
yeah, this is,
Yeah.
and then it'll pay off because you'll have the skills developed.
Yeah,
And
the
you,
best-
you have like a good solid like 3 years to like know what you want to do.
Oh, yeah.
And by fourth year you should
Right.
kind
Yeah,
of have
for
more.
sure.
of
And
a
still,
sense.
like, I've talked to people who set up like a few different portfolios at the end. When they graduate, they're like, I have a storyboard portfolio, I have a character design portfolio, I have a layout portfolio, and they just send
Cool.
those all out and see what they get.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
You gotta find those things like where you can imagine yourself getting up in the morning and you'll have no trouble doing that. Like when I think of animation character design, just a big smile on my face and just brings me exciting. I want to do it, and it's just fun. Which is for layout or compared to maybe layout or painting, which I really gotta sometimes force myself to get started and get working on it.
Painting is definitely my struggle. Like
Ugh,
the
yeah.
first project, I got a D, and like I've been like slowly like progressing ever since. But
Good.
God, I suck at painting, man. So I'm like trying to
That's a
not
hard.
suck. Yeah,
It's
It's
hard,
tough.
man.
Not everyone
It's
can
so
be a good
funny.
painter.
like I've told this story to some people before, but in VCA, what I took right before, I was in a figure painting class, and every day we would just paint like a life model, and it was only people and like sometimes drapery.
That's
And
so good though. It's
Yeah,
such
it
good
really
practice.
helped, and I really improved. I went from like really trash to like mediocre, which is a good step. But one day I was looking, like me and my friend were looking at all the still lives that the illustration class had in the display cases, and the
Right.
teacher walked by and he's like, "Don't worry about it, that's just a still life, all the colors are there, you can do that." He's like, "This is child's play, it'll be fine." And then we get into animation, I'm like, "Yeah, it'll be fine." And then our first project is just paint a black and white cube.
Yeah.
And I got a D and a
Yeah, do you think black and white cubes? I could paint that in my
Oh,
sleeve.
I forgot about that project.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the first one.
Maybe that was Florian's plan to like knock us down and like, all right, now you're gonna go up from there.
I have such a mixed relationship with painting. I find like
It's a love-hate.
it is.
You love colors, but you don't trouble painting.
I think if you find your style, like your
Aesthetics?
look, your aesthetic, yeah, and you really play to that in painting, you can go far. Like this semester, I have like started to really love and enjoy painting, and like and even layout. Like I've never thought I would ever want to be like a layout artist or like a painter. I always thought I'd want to do something more like in character and animation, and I do love character, but I'm building this new relationship with painting and layout, and I'm kind of like, ooh, I
That's awesome.
might be able, I could be a layout painter. That's possible.
Background
And
painter?
yeah, and then part of me is like, you're crazy. But then I think in the program a lot of times it's like style will come down to it. Like if I pick a style that's I'm completely not comfortable with, you're gonna fall miserably like flat on your face. But
Or you're gonna learn from it.
that's true. I mean, you'll fall miserably, but you'll learn.
Yeah.
Gotta fail before you succeed.
Yeah, exactly. But if you pick something that is more like placed to more your style and stuff, you can really produce some really good work. So
Yeah, but when you're in the industry, you're gonna have to like be able to
adapt.
adapt
No,
to
for
different
sure.
styles, right? So no, it's really like the one thing I really like about painting is that we are like studying from like other people's work,
Yes.
and like
Yeah.
we have to copy them, and like you shouldn't feel bad about copying other people's work when it comes to painting,
Just don't
because
claim
like
it as your own.
yeah, absolutely,
learn,
do
like-
not
like-
claim it as your own.
Like use it. It's like a study purpose. You learn from
Exactly.
it. It's not like something you say, "Oh, I'm gonna put it on portfolio because
Yeah,
I did
no,
that."
no,
It's like it's a study
no,
thing.
Don't put that. Yeah, don't put like. I think the best way to practice painting is to study either like master paintings or study like people in like the profession, like that are like in like animation doing layout already, and just like just try to match the colors, try to match the composition, either digitally or like traditionally. I think that's literally the best way you can study for painting.
I think you notice a lot too, like doing like this master copy. We have an assignment right now where we take a background from an animated movie or TV show or something, and you copy it. And I've noticed like I'm doing one from the game Uncharted, and it's just like a beach scene with like some rocks and plants and stuff. But I'll look at it and I'll be like, okay, that plant's green, and then I'll go to mix it, and then it's like it's not right, and then I realize like no, it's actually just blue. But it looks green compared to all the colors that are
Because
around
it's
it.
beside
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, you learn
that's
a lot
cool.
like
That's
how
so
colors
cool.
interact with each other.
Mixing colors, like if I could just have a job mixing paint, oh my god, I would love it. I love matching colors. I think it's like one of the most fun things. Funnest. But
Really?
like yeah, and like
Oh
my
no,
god,
I hate that.
painting black and white drives me mental. I hate it. But like the minute I get to do color, I like look at it like and I'm like, yeah, that's got like this and this, and I'll mix them, and it's so rewarding when you see these like really vibrant, like especially your aquas and stuff, like to match those colors, and when you get them, it's just such a rewarding feeling, and I love it. And I even like find myself like if I'm bored or in the car and I'm looking out and like the sky or wherever, I like start to dissect color, and I start to be like, okay, if I had to mix that color, what would I mix to get that color? And it's just it's something fun to practice with. I mean, I have a weird obsession with color though, so I don't know if that's your forte, but it's a good thing to like keep like look to nature for especially for color inspiration.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge supporter
Nature does
of
it
like
best.
yeah, like honestly, like whenever you're painting, copying is pretty much what you do. Like whether it's copying from somebody's established artwork
Right.
or looking at
Reference.
a tree.
Real
yeah.
life.
Like that's what I did for years before I came here, was just like, you know, hike out somewhere and then paint something, just like a landscape, and you're still copying. That's like, you know, it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like the other thing is just learning from what this artist, their take on it.
Exactly, like
But,
how
like,
they
that's, yeah,
how they like see it and how they picture it.
yeah. And then the good thing about like painting from your own observation is just you learn about how you see things, and then you can compare it to other artists and see what they are seeing that you're not seeing, or what you see that they don't see.
Right. And we'll put a link on this video that you can click of. Have you seen that video of the 9, I think it's 9 like Disney artists all
Oh.
painting
Yeah.
the same
The
tree?
nine
Yeah.
old
Nine on
men.
men.
Is it the 9 old men that do it though?
Well, it's different artists, but they're not all 9 of them.
No, I don't think it's the
That's not
9
the
old
9,
men,
okay,
but it's
yeah.
Disney artists, and they all like are in a circle around this huge tree, and they all painted in their own style, and they all look like completely different. But yeah, we'll put a link to that so you guys can watch
Yeah,
it.
that's a great
If
video.
you guys want to find any like a collection of animation backgrounds, like Masterworks, like animation backgrounds, I think it's a Blogspot account. Has a massive collection of variety of different backgrounds from films. Even just
Yeah.
a Google search can help find you a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, that's a good resource.
You can post that link in the box as well.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Should we talk about life drawing portfolios?
Yes.
So
The fun life
one of
drawing
the
portfolios.
biggest problems a lot of first years have is that we
Yeah.
have 2 big portfolios due week 13 and week 7. The hands and feet and the bone portfolio, which
Yeah.
they get put off or like put on the
Don't-
back burner.
Yeah, I think that's like one of the like hardest things is like managing your time with something that's due at the end, and
Yes.
then all those projects that are due in between.
Right. Something that's assigned for weeks and weeks later, and people stop talking about it.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
Yeah.
you stop thinking about it, and then it comes to like 2 weeks before it's due, and then you're like, oh my god,
You're
I
like,
need to
oh
do
god,
stuff.
not me. Let's get this
Yeah.
done.
I think somehow, I don't know if other people agree, but like I feel the bone portfolio was easier to manage the time because there's stuff you have to draw completely by yourself, but then you get assigned groups and you'll get a bone, and then you just in those groups you just kind of swap it out for 2 weeks. So you know you get that bone, you draw it.
Yeah.
Some people weren't able to like draw just how it works out. So they had to
you
get
might
it
at
later.
a weird time.
But
You have
yeah,
other projects to do, and you
Also-
can't do it.
The hands and feet are entirely on
Use
their own.
I found what really helped that a lot of us do is we have time like between classes, and a lot of kids like will slack off or like not use that, or they'll go home. No, but that's what I'm saying is like use those like time gaps, like sit in the studio, do work. Don't be like, oh, I'm gonna go home and then come back, because by the time you get home, unpack, whatever, maybe have something to eat, it's time to pack up and come back, when you could have just stayed at the studio. Like, think of it as like a 9-to-5 job, and it's a little easier to manage your time that way.
Or if it's like after class and you get home and like, and it's like if it's winter and it's really cold out, you don't really feel like going back outside, or you know, comfortable, and you're like, I'll just do work tomorrow, then you know, putting stuff off.
So like plan to be at the school. Like I find I get more work at the school. I live on res. But I pretty much live in the school. I get so much more work done in the school. There's like
different people have different workflows too.
True.
Yeah.
But I mean, like for me, I like when everyone else is working on stuff around me, and it's very inspirational, and it's fun to bounce stuff off of other people. And also it gets lonely if you're like, I find it gets lonely if you're working on stuff for like hours by yourself. It's nice to just even be in the presence of someone else who's like working with you.
Yeah, for sure. The only thing that like I can't do with other people is paint. Like
That's,
I have to
that. That's the one thing I do at home. I can't do it here.
Exactly. I can't, like, it would be way too distracting. Like, because you have to focus so much on what you're doing for painting.
Yeah, even when I'm at my apartment, like, I'll just shut my door when I'm doing
me too.
homework, and like just put on music and like shut the doors so my roommates are doing whatever, and then I just paint for like 3 hours.
That's exactly what I do.
I cannot paint at home. If I paint at home, I literally like look for every excuse in the book to not paint. But when I come to school, I come to paint, and I sit and I paint. Like, most of the time Sundays, I'm in the school from, like, 8 to, like, 8, and I just paint all day. But I could never do that at home. I would be distracted by
It's a good example of how long painting takes.
Yes.
Yeah. Longer than you
Do not underestimate it.
Do not underestimate that at all.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, my.
What did Jason said? What?
Jason said if you think about how long you would think it would take you to finish something, and it's used
double
double that.
Yeah.
So if it's going to take you an hour, it's actually probably, realistically, going to take you 2 hours.
Or more.
So.
For sure.
So don't leave something until the last minute when you think, oh, okay, I'll finish that in 4 hours, and I'll be fine, I can work on this. In reality, you start doing it, and it'll take like 8 hours.
Try not to pull all-nighters.
And don't rely on technology either.
Yes. Mark
Mayerson
Mayerson will say that to you in orientation.
Yeah,
don't pull all-nighters. For some reason, we hold this like it's a badge of honor. You like go to school the next day, like, guys, I pulled an all-nighter. Yeah, I'm a badass.
Yeah.
And you collapse.
Yeah, it's like a badge of honor. Like when you before you learn how valuable sleep is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh
And
my
then
gosh.
You need it.
Because then your synapses aren't firing. You can't like as fast. You like struggle to like think of creative concepts or like build things because you don't have the rest. You sleep, and then you kind of get inside your own head and like start doubting your own designs and stuff. Sleep is just really important.
The next thing I'd like to say, is health. Like, make sure you go grocery shopping and you buy good food, and like don't always count on like junk foods and instant meals. Like, healthy, like keeping like a healthy lifestyle is very important for
if you were to eat 365 apples in one day, you wouldn't have to go to the doctor for the rest of the year.
Everyone knows it.
No, but I mean, like, make time, because it will become overwhelming. Make time for sleep. Make time to go grocery shopping. Make time to do your laundry. Like, you still have to live and function as a human being on top of the program.
Yeah, for sure. Or else you're just gonna crash and burn.
Yeah, then it's just, you're gonna be a disgusting, smelly mess.
It's funny because it's hard because when you're here working late at night and like there's only a certain amount of food you can buy at the school. There's not really so much healthy options. You have like Harvey's, pizza, Tim's, Subway.
Honestly, the Chinese chopsticks is awesome.
Where?
Like that's the one
Thai
I ordered.
Express?
No, Chinese chopsticks. That's
Place
like
you order from sometimes?
Yeah, that's the name of the order place.
Where?
They order to here, and their like lunch plates are huge, like ton of food, and it's only for like $8.
That's
I didn't know that.
Chock full of MSG.
Oh yeah.
But like, try to eat some. Like, it's really funny. Like, we have Rabba across the street, and like Dole will. It's open 24 hours, so like Dole and Clayton will go over and they'll come back with like a bag of oranges and like apples. And, like they just go to the produce section, like get your vitamins and get sunlight. I find starting to feel really
in the winter.
Because you're inside a lot. Like first year studio's dark.
Not a lot of windows.
Yeah.
There is no
Anywhere.
So if it's a nice day out or if it's nice, just make an effort to go outside for like 5 minutes, and it'll really like lift your mood and really
Yeah,
help
I
you.
purposefully, like, when I walk over here, usually, like, I don't bring sunglasses, even if it's, like, you know, bright and sunny and glaring, because I want the sunlight. I just, like, I don't want to
That
block
vitamin
any of it.
D,
Yeah.
though. No, yeah, just try to take care of yourself. It's very hard. But I mean, I think we have a pretty good like your gear will become like your support group. Like I find like when you don't sleep and you're not eating food and stuff, everyone's like there to be like, yo, like go take a break. Don't push yourself, because you can get lost in like what you're doing. And like a lot of times, like I know for me, if people are there late, I live on res, and like when all the food stuff closes, I'll bring snacks for people, or I'll do that, and then in return, I've had people bring me stuff, which is nice. So like look out for your fellow animators and your friends. Like you're all toughing it through some long nights sometimes, and it's nice to just be able to like rely on your friends.
But yeah, so
That's
How
first
is-
semester.
yeah, how is everyone doing with our second semester? We got our first quarter of our second semester.
The thing with second semester is like you know what to expect, but the workload still is there.
Intense.
Yeah, you
it
got
ramps up. Like you get
yeah.
more complex. We're doing more fun stuff, but it's also harder.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a lot more engaged, definitely, with the lessons, or not the lessons necessarily, but the projects. Like they're a lot more engaging and like interesting, and you have a lot more kind of creative freedom.
Yeah, and all the
But they're-
profs seem like happier too.
Yeah.
Like
they're
all
more
of them-
excited.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Like all of them are like, I don't know. They're just like they
New
seem
people.
happier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because like you have to get to the grindier, more tediousness of the first assignments to set up the foundation. Then the second
Right.
semester you do a little more fun stuff. And
Right.
I'm
more
sure they enjoy
entertaining.
to like mark more creative stuff than they do like
Yeah,
3
that
black
bouncing
and
ball.
whites.
ball
Yeah.
bouncing,
Yeah.
ball
Ball-
bouncing,
yeah.
and
I think a significant thing is that like life drawing. We were just talking about the portfolios that eat up a lot of
Yeah.
time. Now there's none like take home portfolios until we go to the zoo.
That's
But
what you take
now,
home.
yeah, but now animation and I think digital tools too. Like
They ramped up.
yeah, and the work too is like a bouncing ball is a bouncing ball, but like animating a face or like a walk cycle is like you run into so many more problems.
right.
So it,
Right.
even if you're working with like less frames, because the bouncing ball, some people will be like, oh, this is like
Like 100.
100 drawings. But
Yeah,
like,
it's like
the
you're
walk
drawing a
cycle,
circle, so
yeah, the
you
walk
can
cycle
fly
is
through it.
less,
Yeah.
but you run into way more problems
Oh, yeah.
with it. So
It's complicated.
It's
yeah.
a lot more
Mhm.
fun too, though.
it's fun, yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Definitely more entertaining animating a character of your own versus animating a circle.
Yeah, a lot more
Yeah.
rewarding, that's for sure.
And even like with the addition in second semester, they'll add in addition to story lecture, you'll get a animation history lecture, which is
Oh, I love
pretty
that.
fun.
Yeah.
I
like
the first couple of weeks, we learn a lot about like the beginning of animation, specifically most focused on the American industry. So being of Disney, UPA, all that good stuff. And see some interesting like stuff like the strides and like leaps and bounds they made in advancing the industry, and like you'd be amazed at some of the stuff you can look at that's still beautiful to this day.
Yeah, like a lot of like the original stuff really holds up
Yeah.
to today's stuff. It's
Yeah, dude.
Honestly, I feel like some of the old stuff holds up a lot
way more
Yeah.
than the new
Than
stuff.
today's stuff.
But then that just goes to show you like where like our focus is.
Well,
It's
then-
less on
yeah.
the art and more on how much money can we make.
Right,
and,
right.
Yeah.
Like,
what can we sell off of it.
Well, it's like
I
we
don't wanna
always
say-
say, it's like we're in a commercial-driven industry, so I guess what's the unfortunate is we do have to make products that appeal to people and make
Yeah.
money.
quick. You need to make them quick.
Yeah.
That's true.
Back
but
then,
now-
they were like still learning it, so they were like tedious and like
Yeah,
taking
they
their
had
time.
the freedom to just do whatever they wanted and take as much time as they needed. Now it's like, all right, you need this movie done in 3 years, so otherwise...
Yeah, I feel like
yeah.
a little bit of that exploration, like trying to figure out, like, what can we do with animation that led to a lot of really creative and interesting stuff, and we don't really, that question doesn't get brought up as much.
I mean, we do have things like the combination of CG and 2D that seems
Right.
to be like
Class.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
great,
that
yeah.
seems to be like the new like experimental
Yeah.
side of animation.
The only issue is that there's such a kind of few and far in between because, it's all driven by money, so
Yeah,
a lot of
and-
studios won't take the risk because they know they'll make a certain product and they can make a lot of money with it, but if they do something like that, it's a risky venture and you never know how it's going to go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but, I mean, who
I
are
know,
we
it's
to...
not saying it's not worth it. It's obviously, it'd be definitely worth it, but sometimes we're at the mercy of the executives and people who make the number crunching to
Yeah,
decide what
and
we
I-
need to make.
I feel like Disney and DreamWorks, they're like the big two, and they don't experiment because like they're like, what we have going for us is working great. And
Well, they
Yeah.
still are
the
advancing.
shorts
but-
with their shorts, they tend to experiment a lot. But I think for any future film, we won't get too much. They're advancing, but they don't do too much weird experimental stuff.
I think.
But a lot of the
Oh,
smaller
sorry,
studios, I think, are
They have the
for like
freedom,
Klaus. Yeah, they have more of a freedom, less of like a.
Montreal.
Not to say that
Yeah.
Obviously Disney doesn't put out good work. But
Oh no, not
obviously,
nothing
yeah.
against Disney at all. I'm just saying they're a little less more experimental than. Some
they
of
take
the
less
smaller-
risks, is what it comes down to. Yeah.
I think like it's also a matter of like, not necessarily like we need to get this done because it needs to make money and get out in theaters, but it's also like we need to get this done because our next movie's coming up, and then we need to get that done.
And like
And,
pretty
like,
much, like
yeah,
they have enough
yeah,
money to keep
yeah.
going, but like it's like that movie dictates whether or not the next movie gets
Yeah,
made or
we need
whatever.
to
Like
move on.
I listened to an interview with the director of Zootopia, and like they're talking about like there's interest in a second movie, and the way the movie seems to be going, Disney's really heavy with the marketing. There's a lot of merchandise.
Yeah,
they really
they're
want the
very
movie to be
heavy.
successful, and like from early reviews so far, because the movie's been released in some
Yeah.
of European countries already, that it's doing really well, and so it'd be one of their big movies now. So the want's there and the
Franchise.
money's there. They'll probably
Yeah.
make a second movie.
I
Well,
think
that was
too.
like, I went to the Disney store like before Christmas, and like they had Zootopia, everything in there already,
Really?
and I was
Yeah.
like, the movie, like
Yes,
I don't even think they've released the trailer yet. Like it was like really early, and they had so much merch, and I thought that was really shocking.
Yeah, if they really want to be successful, there's so much there's so many clips and little things they've shown already in the movie. They're really pushing it to be like in the public's eye.
Yeah, but now we only got a couple weeks till it comes out.
Woo!
And
Here anyway, and then we
yeah,
we'll
I
see
think
it.
we'll be releasing a little review.
That would
What, like
podcast.
a week and a half?
March
Yeah.
3rd or 4th or something.
March 3rd, I think it's 4th.
Oh, we're almost in
Pretty
March.
I know, right?
God, that's another thing, guys. It goes by so fast, and I don't know. Like, if I had a final word for anything, just like keep going through it. Don't let it bring you down. You're gonna hit obstacles, but just push through it. Like Blair is the animation. He's our animation prof,
Jeez.
and his
weird.
life is so busy. And I asked him like, how do you handle like 3 kids in hockey, a comic book, animating on the side, teaching here at Seneca, and like all this stuff? And he's like, you just do it. and like I have taken that like mentality. You just do it.
Nike.
You just push it through.
Just do.
Just
Just do it.
Practice
Yeah.
philosophy.
So
Thank you,
like
please sponsor
Yeah.
us.
it goes by fast. Enjoy it. Learn. Don't try not to focus on your marks as much. Try to focus on what you're learning and like what you're getting out of it.
Well, the end goal is like you want to become a good artist. You
Yeah.
want to be successful. You don't want to just go by your letter marks and percentages.
Yeah.
You know, to base how good you are, because you can be a good artist and maybe that particular project you didn't put a bit of effort into. You kind of
Yeah,
just
or-
cranked it out just to get it done, but you didn't do that great on it. Doesn't mean you're bad. Just means like maybe your focus wasn't there.
Yeah, sometimes you have to find that balance too, which is just like, where are you putting the most energy? Like, what's more important to you? What do you just need to get done?
Yeah.
What do you really want to flesh out?
Because you can't put like 150% in everything. You'll just burn yourself out, and you'll like end up crashing really hard.
Yeah.
So you gotta really balance it out. What you want to focus on, what you want to kind of put in the back burner and put less effort on. Not to say you do a half-assed or really bad job. You just don't push it to an extreme like high level you want it to push it.
Yeah, but all in all, it's been a pretty exciting
Yeah.
It's been a
ride.
fun time. It's really
Fun.
exciting. It's like it's almost crazy to believe we're 3/4 done first year. We're gonna be in second year before now, and it seems almost like yesterday we just started out.
Oh, we were just
Almost
babies,
done.
and
Yeah,
now
I
we're
remember like the
on
first
year.
first semester I kept like jumping back to just like, wow, I'm finally there. Like I'm finally
Right.
I'm
Oh, yeah.
working
Yeah.
on like making progress towards the industry is like so exciting.
It's a nice feeling. Instead, it's hard when you're planning it in and like you don't see like an end goal. It's like I need to get in. That's my
That's your
current
end
barrier.
goal
It's
right
it's
there.
nice to be in there knowing that there's something to look forward to in the future. You know, this is my career. This is where I'm gonna end up like 20 years from now. All right. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Next week we'll be interviewing digital tools teacher Jason Tewison.
Thanks for listening to the Animation Lunchbox.